Okay. All right. Ooh, I'm excited to get started here. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Minzu Choi. I'm a Doctor of Ministry student at Portland Seminary with a focus on semiotics and future studies. I'm a third-year doctoral student. I'm in my final year. And this channel is my project dissertation, and I'm so glad to be sharing with you in this first vlog. It is September 14th, 2021. I started all the way back in 2019 in the fall, right before we entered into this pandemic era of our lives. And there's been a lot of ups and downs and challenges about navigating a doctoral program, especially since there's been so many life changes in my personal life. But I'm just so excited to kind of start the last leg of the journey. In this vlog, I wanted to just kind of give you a massive recap of how I've gotten here, talk a little bit about my focus in this channel, as well as kind of give you a picture of the landscape we're journeying into as this channel grows and develops into whatever it's going to be. As I mentioned, I started in 2019, and I came into this program just with a lot of excitement. Semiotics wasn't something that I was an expert in, but it was a subject that just resonated with me. It was a discipline that I felt like that I had practiced kind of naturally in the way that my brain works and how I'm wired. But after meeting Lauren and meeting Len, it was clear that this was the type of program that I wanted to go in. I think part of Portland Seminary and the doctoral program here is that they recognize that dissertations can often get in the way of actually making a tangible difference in a ministry or in the world. And I love the heart and the hope that this program has to focus on something for several years that will give you the foundation to build something for the Lord, to do ministry, to enhance the church, equip the church in various ways. And so right when I came in 2019, those were kind of the hopes and dreams. In year one of my program, the main objective was to identify a need or a problem or an opportunity called an NPO. And what's so interesting to me is if I go back and look at the original NPO that I submitted to my peer advisor, in some ways it's stayed true to that original idea, but through research, through learning, and just through contemplating and developing this NPO, I'm really happy about the evolution and where it's at today. So let me read to you my NPO statement. The modern network revolution has given rise to a generation of digital natives, making a significant number of past models of church and ministry ineffective or outdated. And consequently, this has created a need for innovation in ministry strategies and a recontextualization of historically grounded biblical teachings for a digital-infused society. And probably the key word in there is understanding the social phenomenon of what a network revolution is. And over the course of these next few months, I'm hoping to create small vignettes and videos that kind of explain all the dimensions and all the stages of my research, including what a network revolution is, including strategies and principles that are either ignored or even resisted when it comes to being effective in terms of being a witness, evangelizing, discipling, and community building here in this kind of modern era of the internet. And so this is what I've landed on, and this is kind of what I'll be exploring with you. The network revolution also harkens back to a time about 500, 600 years ago, during the late medieval to the early Renaissance period in Europe. Specifically, I have done a lot of my historical research on the era where Johann Gutenberg brings into the world the movable printing press. Because of that invention, history takes a major pivot. What we're going to find out is a unique take on how Martin Luther started the spiritual and religious revival and revolution that we call the Protestant Reformation. We're going to look at individuals like Copernicus, as well as Galileo, as well as how the church kind of responded to this idea of books becoming democratized and kind of decentralized from the main institutions of those days. The reason why I've chosen this historical era as kind of a case study is because more and more literature and research is coming out that says there's a parallel of what's happening today to what happened in the 1500s with the printing press. It turns out that when a new medium is discovered and becomes adopted slowly at first, but then rapidly, it really creates a lot of disruption. It creates a lot of tumultuous behavior in societies. There's a lot of polarization. There's a lot of politicization. The problems that we face, the emotional barriers that we face, seem eerily similar to what people back then were experiencing. And so I see a connection. I see a connection that we can learn from the printing press era, the Gutenberg era, and it's going to help us possibly be more informed of how we navigate a Google era where AI and blockchain and cybersecurity and gigantic corporations like Amazon and Facebook exist. Those things have some sort of bearing on us as individuals, as well as us, the body of Christ, the church. And so for me, the inevitable church is really an exploration and a research center and a place where dialogue and debate can happen about what we should be doing ethically, morally, as well as socially, as faithful followers of Jesus, as the church, in this era of dissonance, in this era of change and adaptation, in this era of rapid progress. How are we to posture ourselves so that we still fulfill our prime directive that Jesus, our Lord, placed on us at the end of his ministry? We are the church in 2021, and what the future church looks like will, in some ways, depend on the actions and the decisions of the leaders today. Let me tell you a little bit about this channel, which has become the most viable prototype for my project dissertation. Last spring in 2021, I prototyped two paths for my project dissertation. One direction was a podcast and pretty much just creating a team and weekly coming together and talking about a lot of these issues. But what ended up making more sense for me, because of my dabbling into filmmaking and YouTubing, is that I wanted to create videos. I wanted to have a visual element to my project dissertation. So this channel is the repository of all the videos that I have planned in making, and the channel is meant to continue to grow and to continue to be developed and formed way beyond this program. And so this vlog kind of marks the beginning of the end of the new beginning of my work and the work that I want to do as a minister of the gospel and as a semiotician. So let me just briefly talk about the type of videos that I want to make initially, and I'm sure the types of videos that I will make in the future will vary and they'll evolve. But the main series that I want to showcase for you here at the beginning of this channel is an episodic series on the history of the printing press era in the 1500s to describe the events leading up to the invention of the printing press, giving you a brief history of Johann Gutenberg and how the discovery of the printing press came to be, talking about Martin Luther and his relationship to the church and his utilization of the cutting-edge technology of his time, and how all of these ultimately created basically a new world of a new world, a new civilization that utilized print, and where literature and books and data was much more accurate and manageable and communicated in a way that an oral culture could not do. And so that series is meant to be kind of the backbone to kind of the tenets or the principles that I'm wanting to share in separate videos. In addition to this episodic main series that will be about 4 or 5 episodes, about 15 minutes in length, maybe a little bit more, I'll be also doing regular vlogs like this one right here. And the vlog is meant to be both a way for you viewers to see the progress and to give you kind of an insight into what my brain is thinking about from week to week. And that's how consistent that I want it to be. I want it to be at least once a week. Sometimes I'll just turn on the camera and just kind of share with you an epiphany or an insight that I've had, or maybe comment on like current events and things like that. But the vlog is meant to share with you just the overall progress of the channel if you're viewing it alongside me and you're on the journey. But it's also a way to document the work that I'm putting in. I'll occasionally give you just like, images of storyboards and scripts that I'm working on, maybe flesh out some ideas that I'm thinking about. So in a lot of ways, these are like the rawest, most unedited versions of what I'm trying to articulate and explain on this channel. And so these are great videos to just give you an idea about what sort of work that I'm putting in, how much, where I'm going with it, what little divergence I'm going on, what turns I'm taking as I continue to explore this idea alongside you all. In addition to the vlog, I'll also be doing short videos of various different kinds. What I want to be able to cover in this channel is kind of give you the foundation of all the principles that I'm utilizing and all the ways that I'm going to kind of play off and comment on like topics and ideas. So there's going to be short videos that are on concepts that are crucial to your understanding of how I'm coming to the information that I'm coming to. Things like semiotics. What is semiotics is a video that I have planned to shoot this month. Another type of short video that I would love to experiment on is to do devotionals and Bible studies that are semiotics based. So this has been a very long blog. There's a lot of information to cover, but in the future episodes, we'll be diving into just some of the specifics and some of the nuances of what I'm developing. And I'm excited to share with you what all of this becomes over time. So thank you so much for listening. One thing that if you want to follow me closely, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell. It notifies you whenever I make a new video. Also hit that thumbs up button because algorithms apparently matter now, and they're a thing, and they're growing, and they're learning, and they're becoming sentient, I think. So let's feed the algorithm. And yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well. It's at I am Min-Soo Choi. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm excited to join you again in the next episode.